Well. We have the new Soundwave finally. Very exciting. I'm sure a lot of people are very hyped for this figure. A lot of big Soundwave fans out there, I know. I'm not even sure where to begin. I'll just take a look at him. So, there's his head. Pretty good. I like the head sculpt. Pretty clean looking paint, I would say. The paint on the little missile things is really nice that they did that this time around. Little, well, not so little. Decepticon logo looks pretty good. The vents, I guess, something. There's gray on them, and then the feet are like a silvery color. Stripes around the arms. Paint right there. Is that painted? Yeah, it's kind of a nice silvery finish. The buttons on his butt. I mean, I think, oh, yeah, that likes to fall out. We'll kind of go over that in a minute. But yeah, I mean, he's good looking. Oh, and of course the yellow on the chest as well. Everything seems to be pretty cleanly painted. You know, I don't think they missed any details or anything. I think they got everything. The sculpt, I mean, I don't know what to complain about. You know, I mean, they've done Soundwave a bunch of times. You know, I think they kind of have a good formula going for the most part. You know, I think it's a good Soundwave. If you don't have a Soundwave, you need a Soundwave, it's a good option. I'm looking at the Big Bad Toy Store listing right now. It's listed at $60. It looks like it's sold out right now, so I'm not sure how easy it's going to be. To get him right now. I don't know. For $60, I think he's fine. I think he's supposed to be a leader class. I think it's reasonable. He comes with a couple of things, which we'll go over, of course. In fact, we'll go over right now. So, you get, you get this little gun thing, and then of course this comes off as well. Excuse me. And then this, you know, you can put it in, like for transformation, you gotta store on his back or whatever, you can like push this in. It likes to kind of slip out a little bit, but yeah, and then you just take it back out. Of course, you get the 3 cassette guys. So let's actually go over the cassette guys first. So first, you get Ravage. Here's the new Ravage. And I think it looks pretty good. I didn't really see it until I looked at the old one. But I think he's a pretty big improvement, honestly. You know? I mean, let me see if I can kind of get him out of the way here. If you look, you know, they're very different. Very, very different. I think they improved it a lot, honestly. Not that the old one was bad, but I think the new one looks a little bit better. Now, with the new one, though, the old one I don't think had a tail at all, but this is very hard to get in and out of there. But this whole assembly, I mean, you can see it's a separate piece, the whole butt. It's like a different color, which is also kind of weird. Shouldn't it just be black? I don't know if they did it on purpose or what, but the color doesn't match. That might be a bit of a gripe. These missile things also come off. So I guess you could also rotate them if you need to. But yeah, this whole assembly like comes off, and then that peg there, I guess, is for storage. Like because if you want to transform this guy into the cassette mode, you have to take this off, and now it doesn't want to come off. So I guess you could peg that in and have, you know, Soundwave hold it or something like that, and then for like storage. I can't really get it off. Wow, holy crap. Okay, maybe later. Anyway, so here's Laserbeak, and you get Buzzsaw as well. Same exact mold, you know, so they do come with this. It's actually 3 pieces, as you can see. It's like the left side, the right side, and this peg piece in the middle is like a separate piece. You just put them together, and basically, the way it works is, it's got these little smaller pegs, and then they just peg in, you know, just like that. And then that peg, I mean, I'm not sure, honestly, what it's supposed to do. Like, you could spin it, just because of the way they connect, you know. Oh, now it doesn't want to. You can orient it however you want, you know. I mean, I think maybe the idea is like, again, for like storage mode, or storage for when they're in the cassette mode, you could plug this in Soundwave somewhere. I'm honestly not entirely sure, but you know, there's that. I will compare him to this buzzsaw. Honestly, I don't remember where I got all my cassette guys. I'm not sure which one this is, but I think the overall sculpt looks better. This particular one has like a ton of paint, so it looks pretty nice, but the one, so okay, here's the big thing that I really want to point out, and this has like been bugging me. And you may have noticed it. Let's see if you can guess what it is. You may have noticed it already. If you have a keen eye for action figures. This joint allows you to go all the way down, right? So if he's diving, swooping down, he can kind of do that. Or he can have his head all the way up like that, no problem. On this new one, that's as far down as you can get it. Pretty sure they could have just cut away some of that in the front there to let you put it down, but I guess it was an aesthetic choice, I don't know. You can go back as much as you want just for like transformation purposes, but you can't do that like diving position. You can't have it go any further down than that, and that bothers me. Honestly, I'm not really a big fan of that. That kind of bugs me, but I don't know. Is it a big deal to you? I don't know. I mean, maybe he doesn't need to. Maybe I'm not that familiar with the character. Maybe he just never does that. I don't know. Just knowing about like birds, you know, they like to put their like head down as they're kind of like swooping down and stuff. I don't know. Now I think it was, which one was? Actually, I think it was both of these. Yeah, I think. Yeah, they both have these. Okay, this guy got like a weird ratcheted shoulder. They both have see these notches? Yep. See the notches in the shoulder there? So what's great about those, you could put the bird on his arm, his forearm, or whatever you call it. It doesn't really fit that well, if I'm being honest with you. But it does. Maybe it doesn't go on. I used to be able to do it, now it's like that. Huh. It'll work better on the, I guess it's the Siege one, I think. I don't even remember. Yeah, it's gotta be Siege, right? You're supposed to be able to put in those grooves. I think, I don't know. I don't know why it's fighting me all of a sudden. Maybe Laserbeak. Yeah, Laserbeak needs to work a little bit better. The point is, you can put him on his arm, and he doesn't hold on that well, but it's something. On this one, you can't, there's nothing really there to hold, you know? Now, there is this tab here, and if you notice, he's got little tabs in his feet. She's like, oh, so that's like perfect, you can do it. And sort of. It doesn't really tab in though. It just sort of rests on there. So like, yeah, it's not great. The old one wasn't great. I feel like the old way worked a little bit better. Maybe the little notches weren't so like aesthetically very nice looking. I don't know, but it doesn't seem to work great. I mean, he'll still like rest on there, and you know, it'll be all right. Sometimes I've kind of put it on his shoulder like that. and I don't know. Oh, and I figured. So okay, well, I already compared them with the actual buzzsaw that I have. This is technically like Earth mode buzzsaw, I think, and this is like Cybertronian mode later. I think it's the exact same. I think the only difference is, if you notice, the head sculpt is different between those two. So I don't know if I need a different comparison or not, but technically slightly different like mold. So anyway, oh, and just by the way, let's no, that's the wait. What did I do with it? This is the one of the old Ravages, and as you can see, it goes in no problem. For a minute there, for a while, I was like, is it gonna fit the same ones? Because it kind of looked like these. It looks a little bit bigger, doesn't it? A little bit. I don't know, but no, the old ones, they still fit just fine, no problems at all. The spring-loaded little mechanism, it works very well. No complaints there. I think that's about it. I did bring out Rumble, Frenzy. I don't know which which one's which. I did bring them out. I don't know. He didn't come with any of them, so I guess I don't really have to compare him with anything. But I just brought him out just for fun, in case you wanted to see him next to him. I don't know. Anyway, now let's get some measuring going. Hey yo. So I'm gonna say to the top of his head. I don't think he quite breaks 7 inches. It's like 6 3/4, approximately. Yeah. He seems a bit big, but he's actually not huge height-wise. Now we're gonna put him next to his other cells. Again, I think this is the Siege, I think. And I think this is the Earthrise, I think. So as you can see, he's a bit bigger. I didn't actually know this, but the Siege, it's actually a little bit taller than the Earthrise. That's interesting. You know? I didn't notice. He seems a bit bigger than the Earthrise, but the new Leader Class Studio Series seems to be the biggest by a little bit. They seem to be making everyone bigger, which is cool, you know. Prime's a lot bigger. The Earthrise, or no, what is it? Studio Series Prime is pretty big, and it kind of dwarfs Megatron. Now my Megatron is like really small now. But I think he still scales okay with Megatron. I think he's still a little shorter than Megatron, maybe. Actually, no. I think he might be a little bit taller. Let me see if I can. See, he's like a little bit taller, tiny bit. So, yeah, we're still waiting on that new Megatron. I don't have him. I don't know if people have him or not, but I think I pre-ordered mine from Big Bad Toy Store. I'm still waiting on that. But yeah, what are you gonna do? Okay. Up next, we got our boy Optimus Prime, who just kind of dwarfs everybody. Like this scale, I'm perfectly fine with that. I think that looks perfectly fine. But then Megatron is just way too small. So I really hoping that the new one will be bigger. And I'm sure he will be. I'm sure they're keeping all that in mind. And just for fun, my main man, Shockwave. One of my favorite Transformer characters like ever, and just one of my favorite Transformer figures ever. This figure is fantastic. I really wish that they would re-release it or release something similar, because I love this over time. You know, he's a couple of years old. I think it's a Siege Shockwave. I want to say, I don't even remember, but some of his joints are just starting to go, and man, I love the new one. I think they did make a Dramatic Capture Series Shockwave, like it's just the same figure, I think, but without the upgrades and everything. So I was thinking maybe I'll just replace the figure, but I think the purple might be slightly different. I don't really know. But there they are. He's almost as tall as him, even with the little boots on. So yeah, so the Soundwave is a little bit bigger. Now I do want to go over articulation. Actually, the shoulders look pretty good there. This is like I think a part of the transformation, but you could, you know, use that like backwards butterfly joint. Now, oh yeah, also the very tight bicep swivel. Then you've got elbow, double jointed elbow. So here's the weird thing. This joint's fine. This joint's incredibly tight. It's not tight, but it has like a stopping point in there. And I can never quite. I don't know if the corner is like hitting itself or something. I don't know what's going on, but did you hear that? That snap, it's like it snaps and then it works. You know, no problem. But then you try to snap it back. So I'm applying pressure. See that? It's not as bad on the other side, but the other side does have that problem too. So it's definitely a concern. The butt flap will go out of the way. Same thing with these skirt pieces. They won't go up all the way, but just enough to give you probably enough range. What else? Yeah, I mean the hips go out. Actually, like more than 90. That's actually pretty insane. You get 90 degrees of bend at the knee. Thigh swivels there. I mean, you get everything you need. Pretty standard stuff here. I got him in like a crazy pose right now. Ankles will go forward as much as you probably need it. Doesn't really go back at all. And then there's your tilt. So there we are. And then also the wrists, they do swivel, and then you have one joint for the fingers if you want that. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Speaking of the hands, did I mention this? I think I mentioned the problem with this gun, right? It falls out a lot, and I didn't give you the reason though. The reason is that it doesn't peg in very far because it's got these weird fins on there. Kind of wish they made the peg longer or something, but so there's like little things that kind of don't function well. But oh, and the head, I didn't give you the head articulation. I mean, it's pretty basic. It, you know, get your full rotation. It wiggles and goes up a tiny bit, goes down a bit. The transformation joint in there will, you know, give you a little bit of liberty there, not much, but anyway, pretty standard stuff. But there he is. So I think that's everything. So we're gonna get him transformed, and we're gonna see his cassette player mode. All right, and I'll be right back. All right, so he's all transformed. It's an easy transformation. You just fold the hands and you fold everything in, and you just flip the legs up. Pretty standard Soundwave transformation. There's not really that much to talk about. Again, I really like the way this Decepticon logo looks. It seems to be painted pretty cleanly. Got some fuzz or something on there. Sorry about that, but yeah, pretty good looking, honestly. Got the buttons on there. It looks good from the front. From the bottom, maybe not. The side, like this part looks good. Just kind of have the arms just kind of sticking out, you know. the back is like whatever. I mean, I don't know. It's fine. But yeah, so there's the alt mode. I like it. I'm not sure what else to go over. You know, you could put your little cassettes in there, which is always a fun gimmick. I can see why so many people like Soundwave, because it's actually kind of hard getting them in sometimes. Actually, I forgot to actually mention that it's a little bit hard get them in there. Not sure. Maybe if I go the other way. Yeah, okay. I think it slides in a little bit easier the other way. But anyways, yeah. I mean, it's just a cool gimmick. I feel like every time I get a new Soundwave, I just keep doing that. You know, and the tape comes out, laser beak eject, bam. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So, in my opinion, so like, okay, if you're still rocking like the Siege Soundwave, well, which I didn't like the cracks and the scratches of the Siege ones at the time, but now I kind of miss it. I kind of think it actually looks kind of cool, but having some battle damage every once in a while. Look, this, and there's nothing wrong with the Siege one. You're still rocking the Siege one. I mean, I don't know, maybe upgrade to the Studio Series. So like, okay, if you want a Studio Series, if you want a Soundwave that's as accurate to the G1 cartoon as much as possible, then I mean, okay, I think there's like I think there's a Masterpiece one. I think, right? I think I saw it somewhere, maybe for pre-order, maybe. I don't know if it's new. I don't follow the Masterpiece too closely, but yeah, unless you wanted to get like something like that, if you want, you know, just something that's as close to the G1 cartoon as possible, then sure, absolutely, go for it. If you know, I mean, if you have the Earthrise, I think that's what this is. You know, I mean, I think he's a perfectly good figure, honestly. Again, the elbow thing that I mentioned, that does kind of bother me. It does bother me that he doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't really snap onto his arm as much. You know, the laser beak or buzzsaw, whatever. And then the neck joint, right, on him. So, like, I wouldn't say that one's necessarily better than the other one. It's not that clear. I think they're both fine. I don't know which one I would prefer. I don't know. May as well put this back on just to make a fairer comparison here. You know, although I will say this is like parts forming. This, by the way, is actually part of his body. So like when you transform him, you know, nothing left. But I will, or you can make the argument though that the tape mode looks better though. Maybe. I don't know. So if you're thinking like, well, maybe I don't need the Soundwave, but maybe I want to upgrade my laser beak and buzzsaw. Well, I don't know. The laser beak buzzsaw, is it an upgrade? Is it about the same? It's definitely a toss-up. If you really, I think the big thing is going to be the Ravage. The Ravage looks a little bit better. I think his articulation seems to be a little bit better as well. You know, these rotate. I think the hip won't the back hip won't rotate, but you can rotate at like the knee thing. This tail technically moves. Does the head move? So the head doesn't really move, but you can move the whole torso, and then you can just move the legs, so you can kind of articulate the head that way. And then this also hinges down a little bit. I don't know. The Ravage, if you want the new Ravage, I get it. If you want a new like laser beak and buzzsaw, I don't know if it's necessarily worth. I mean, they're gonna be more accurate to the cartoon, probably. Again, if you want something more accurate to the cartoon, yes, go for it. Aside from that, I don't know. He's not that much. I mean, again, all three of them are very similar. They're all kind of the same. Mostly, you know, a lot of the same kind of a thing. Or actually, I think the Siege one was different, because I think the Siege one turns into like, I think it turns into the lamppost, right? Something like that. I don't even remember. I definitely don't remember transform him, and I don't know what I did with his instructions, but yeah. if you don't want something that's particularly accurate to the G1 cartoon, it's up to you if you want to upgrade. I think it's just gonna be like, do you like the lighter blue? Maybe you just prefer the dark. If you just prefer like the darker blue, if you like the, you know, his head sculpt, like his head's a little different. Because his eyes aren't, or are they connected? Yeah, they're kind of not connected, but I don't know. Like the head sculpt's a little bit different. Maybe you like the head sculpt a little bit better. The paint's not quite as clean, I think, though. A little bit different, but I don't know. It's not as clear, honestly. There's, like, again, like here, this is painted on this guy. If you notice, this part of the gun isn't painted. On this guy, it is. Paint's better. I think overall, this one's probably gonna look a little bit nicer. Excuse me. But if you got this one, you're like, I don't really know if I want a new Soundwave. I don't know if I want to buy a new one. I have all my tape, guys. I don't know if I necessarily need the upgrade. I think you can get away with without doing the upgrade. But if you love Soundwave, and you know, you're not gonna be disappointed, really. Again, it's the same kind of a thing. So I'm definitely happy to have him. I really, really, really need that Megatron. Oh my gosh, I need the spirits of the action figure overlords to just give me the Megatron. Give me the Megatron. This one's fine. I like this Megatron. He's great, but he seems I don't know. He feels like he's getting smaller and smaller. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. Do you have the Megatron? Yeah, I don't really follow a lot of this stuff. I don't know if they're out yet or not. I don't remember, but do you have the Soundwave? Do you like the Soundwave? Is it worth upgrading? Are you thinking of upgrading? Are you considering it? Are you definitely not getting it? Are you like one of those Soundwave guys? You're like, oh no, I love Soundwave. I gotta get a Soundwave. Also, let me know about this neck articulation. This was kind of my biggest problem. Like, I just wish every time I look at it, it's like, oh, I just want to put the neck down, but I can't. Let me know your thoughts on all that stuff. Brand new Soundwave. Very exciting stuff. I think the Amalgamus Prime, whatever he's called, is also coming, so I'll have to do a video on that. I don't know when. I don't have him yet. I think he's in the mail, but anyways, I will see you then.